This is We the Sales Engineers podcast, show 331.
Welcome to We the SEs podcast, the show for sales engineers by sales engineers with your host, Ramsey Majaba.
What's up, SE Nation? Welcome back to another episode. We have a great episode today. One of the career paths that sales engineers have is becoming the CEO of your own company. We've talked about that in the past, and today's guest has done exactly that. And I want to bring it up because we talk to so many SEs and so many SEs who have become CEOs, we think that it's common. I don't see it to be common at all. And yet it's a very valid career path for a lot of solution engineers because we understand, depending on the SE obviously, understand a holistic business view from the technical side and also from the commercial and working with customers. So I want to bring it up again because it's important and we don't talk about it enough, I guess. And it's very fulfilling. And sometimes we talk to SEs who say like, well, I don't want to be in sales. I don't want to be selling anything because it's not part of my value system. And I can tell you this, and I think we discussed it on the call as well. It's so much better when you're selling your own product and you're your own boss versus being a salesperson at a company who assigns quota arbitrarily, who bullies you about the forecast. So I just want to bring that up. Now, my guest is Guillaume Huynh-Ba. I think I butchered his last name. And according to my wife, I may have butchered his first name because it's a French name and I don't know how to speak French. So I apologize if I did that. And we're going to talk about his path from being a leader in Salesforce, like not a Salesforce, and the company Salesforce, and then making the transition into becoming a leader of his own company called Simplify. He will discuss that a little bit later in the show. Monsieur Guillaume, comment ça va?
Très bien, Monsieur Ramsey, bonjour.
I've used up all of my French. Well, so obviously you're French.
Yeah.
One, good morning, bonjour. Two, who are you? And what are you doing here?
Okay. Well, you invited me. No, I'm just kidding. So,
that's true. I did invite you.
well, I'm Guillaume, which is the French for William. I've been in the software vendor, area for more than 20 years. My last job was sales enablement at Salesforce, and I joined Salesforce 11 years ago. And when I started at Salesforce, I was an SE, but when I keep thinking about myself, I do think my DNA is solution engineer, sales engineer, you name it, because it's basically we are pre-sales. And that's the name of your podcast. So in a nutshell, I'm a tech guy who went, like most of us, who went to what I used to call the dark side. But it's not the dark side. It's really interesting way of being in the sales environment and keeping your hands dirty.
It just dawned on me. Almost all engineers think of sales engineers people as the dark side, and all sales engineers as the dark side. Care. Show me
No.
the money, you can call me
Exactly,
whatever you want.
yeah.
You became an SE. You were an SE for quite a while.
Yeah.
And then you made a move
Yeah.
to some other role, which I didn't think SEs could do. SEs either have to go into sales or sales engineers forever. What was your...
Yeah. And before I joined my previous company, so I joined Salesforce. But before doing that, I was in a smaller company, and the only way for me to be promoted was to have my former manager to leave or die. And hopefully for him, I'm still friends with him and he's still alive. I'm really glad he is.
I'm happy to hear that, but went morbid, all of us.
Yeah, well, the chance I got is joining a bigger company. So Salesforce, it's 70K people, 30K employees. And when you join that kind of company, you've got, and I saw a cycle on my end, I don't know, and I would love to hear from you, Ramsey. Every 3 or 4 years, I was changing jobs. I was really changing jobs. So after 3 or 4 years being an SC and the SC team and SC manager, I had an opportunity to do another job, which was a global job. So I was covering the French market. And all of a sudden, I had this opportunity to go into the global industry go-to-market team covering travel, transportation, and hospitality. So very different from my SE role.
What is that? An industry go-to-market team.
Yeah, that was very new at the time at Salesforce. It was in 2016. And the role was to shape Salesforce vision on basically Salesforce point of view on travel, transportation, and hospitality. So I was more likely at the end of, I made 3 years over there. I was doing a couple of things. One of them was to shape the vision of Salesforce on hospitality. And so we came, for instance, with a reward and loyalty program, which was very different from the traditional loyalty programs from, airline vendors or, those who are selling specific software solutions for airlines or for hospitality. So it's really, do we understand the market? Yes, that was our initial job. We were training, and you'll see enablement is really something in my career. We were training sales teams to understand the basics, the 101s of the industry. They needed to know what, all these vocabulary is. When you talk about an airline, you've got stuff like passenger systems or you've got a lot of vocabulary you need to understand because you need to speak the vocabulary of your customer. That's the first thing. And the second thing is to really understand, okay, what are this industry's key challenges? And number three, of course, is which ones can we address and how do we address them with the solution? So at the time, that was Salesforce.
Like enablement for a particular industry.
It is both enablement, absolutely, but also vision. Really, we were the ones shaping the vision.
Okay. Were you doing any actual kind of SE work? Like you're the specialist for the industry behind the scenes or everything?
One of the first things my VP told me is don't be an SE. Meaning, and it was very hard because, I did build a demo for transportation, for instance. So we built a demo, well, not just one, but it was like demos for Salesforce. They've got the innovation centers. So basically we invite our customers and we showcase what we can do for them. And so I built a transportation Lego-based demo for transportation. So you had a ship, you were shaking it, you had sensors in the ship, you were creating a storm, and you were showing basically a full end-to-end story explaining how we Salesforce can help the transportation industry with a hands-on demo. And
Did you just?
yes.
So you built a ship with Lego?
Yeah. Well, that was just yes. And that was like a touch and feel demo. And so I did that. We did that, across EMEA because I'm based in EMEA. So we had this demo was in London, it was in Paris, it was in Amsterdam. And our customers could shake do something, touch the demo and see what was happening then. You had the dashboard automatically being updated, alerts being sent to stakeholders, etc. And that was my SC background, which helped me create that. But I did leverage I was an SC, but I was working with a team of SCs to actually implement the demo. So basically I had the idea and then I've been working with SCs to actually implement the whole.
Cross-functional.
It was cross-functional.
That's beautiful. So I get a lot of questions like, hey, do I have to be technical to be an SE? And no, you don't have to know how to code or you don't know how to do a lot of things. You can just talk about it. But being technical enables you to do cool stuff like that.
True.
It's not a must, but it's very helpful if you're not technical today to get technical, get better at your job.
It's a value added, even if, what we are being asked, at least at Salesforce, is to maybe be technical, but don't talk about technique. Whenever you're engaging with a customer, It's all about value. It's not about, oh, yes, I can do that. Look at that. I can click here and do that. And no, don't do that. Talk
You
about
didn't talk
value.
about the sensors. You didn't talk about installing sensors or the
No,
API that went behind the scenes to collect all the
no,
information.
absolutely
You
not.
just showed them the value.
The experience, yeah.
Being technical allowed you to do that.
Yeah.
And also being able to leverage other people. I don't know if that's related to you or not, but I find a lot of SEs don't leave the SE role because almost any other role that's not sales is a pay cut.
Hmm.
Have you seen, like you said, you moved every 2 to 3 years. Have you seen something similar, or like are there roles that are high paid than SEs that's not sales?
Oh,
It's like the golden handcuffs.
yeah, it's true.
I want to try different things, but
I think that's a bias, honestly. My salary increased moving to other roles. And I could grow in the hierarchy. It was, you know, if I had stayed an SE or an SE manager, I would have stayed basically a senior manager, which is fine. And being a first line manager, which is fantastic. I love doing that. Still, I moving into a different direction, into a global role, unlocked something for me. I was not stuck in France anymore. I was global, so I moved to a director role. So it's another option. It's moving up the ladder. You don't have, because also something I've talked about a lot with my friends, SEs. It's yes, but to grow in your career, you must become a manager, which I think is not true. You can stay an IC, but a very talented one, and move into maybe other teams, more overlays team where you're a specialist. And this helps also move your career up, staying an SE.
the reason I'm from personal experience, a while back, there was an enablement role within my company, and I love this, right? So I love helping people get better at their job, and it is a few $1,000 pay cut per month. Who are you hiring to train me? That's the thought that popped in my head. If you're not hiring the best, trainee, who are you hiring? So yeah, I get that, and it seems that it might be different in different companies.
True.
You weren't an enablement person. You were enabling, but you weren't enablement.
So my last job was enablement. So, after that, what I shared with you was my second job. Basically, it was industry go-to-market. And it was covering in what this industry called travel, transportation, and hospitality. And in 2019, COVID hit, meaning it's been a challenging time for us. Honestly, it's been challenging. So, I think once again, it was a cycle for me. I was at the third year in this role, and I saw the wind changing for my team, and I was thinking, okay, I don't think Salesforce is going to fire me. They were not firing that much at the time, but they may tell me, okay, go and do that, something I don't like. So I chose to pick my own career, and there was this job opening for an SE enablement role in EMEA.
Okay.
And SE enablement, yeah, very specific. So I passed a couple of internal interviews, and it happened that I already knew the people I was about to work with, so that was fantastic. And so I started as an SE enablement, person. That was fantastic. But I don't know in your company, but the joke at Salesforce is the only constant at Salesforce is change. So it changes every 9 months. You've got something changing. So the team was changed, and we started training sales and SE. Initially, it was two separate teams. So we had our own strategy to enable the solution engineers. We were focusing on all and the good stuff, what I call, it's called soft skills, but I really call that the salt and pepper, or the, in this chemical reaction, when you've got two things that don't move, you add this new stuff and boom, you got a reaction. And so we were already training our SCs on the product, of course, like every SC should know the product very well, not by heart, but very well. And the industry they're selling to. I don't know if can we talk about your company, but you're selling to network companies, so you need to know the business of your companies. And so that's what SEs should know. But sometimes where they fail is that they tend to be teachers when they are meeting with customers. So they want to either tell them they know more about their industry than they do, never do that, and or they love the product. We all are in love. Usually, SEs, we are in love with our product. And what we want to do is to showcase the product. And this is exactly why we want to train our DRSCs on these soft skills. It's because it's all the rest. It's active listening, discovery. And then we did some very interesting stuff. I even got certified on that. We used design thinking. So design thinking, I don't know how much you know about design thinking.
I would love more.
Yeah.
More.
Sure. So design thinking, it's absolutely not about sales. It's really a method that I was introduced, I think, in the 60s to design new products. So design thinking in a nutshell, it's put yourselves into the shoes of your customer to understand which problem they are trying to solve before you even try to share a solution. So design thinking, it's a two-step approach. And you're an SE, so you completely get that. But first, try to understand your customers' pains and which problems they are trying to solve. Once you've validated the problem they want to solve, then you can work with them to find a solution and iterate again and again until you find the right solution. And sometimes you even have to start again from the beginning because you were not solving the correct problem. And so if you use that in a sales cycle with your sales team, so it's not just about the SEs, but it's really about a combination of sales and pre-sales working together to do these workshops with their customers, you go in a very different direction because you are starting to co-create the solution with your customer. And people will be convinced that that's the right solution because they helped you build it. So you are in a very different type of conversation with your customer when you manage to, follow this co-creation path. And you can definitely leverage design thinking to achieve that.
Oh, I feel like a lot of people do that.
I do.
And a lot of people don't.
Also.
Talking about SEs, they become teachers. I've seen SEs become teachers. I've seen SEs become Wikipedia. I'm just here to answer your questions, which is why We the SEs is all about the soft skills, and I'm glad companies like Salesforce focus on that. I haven't seen many companies focus on soft skills for enablement. Most of the companies, what they have for enablement, actually, the new product, here's a new feature, let's go over that. Why is this feature important? We don't know. Who's going to care about that? We don't know. How am I going to stop? So I love that you were doing that. How did you make the decision? Sounds like you were a director in the go-to-market. Did you switch to an individual contributor role?
No, that was the opposite way around. So I was an individual contributor in the go-to-market team, and I got an opportunity to become a people leader when joining the enablement team.
So, if I understand correctly, you mentioned earlier, going to the go-to-market team opened up the door to director role.
Yeah, in a way, yes. Because once again, at one point in time, I think what most of us do is just look back at what did I do well, what do I like to do? And I did realize that in my career, I've always trained others, enabled others. And I like doing that, specifically, SEs. This mix of tech and sales, always found that very interesting. Something maybe I did not mention is when I joined Salesforce, my pet project it was a side project mandated by my VP at the time, was to create some kind of university for system integrators again, to teach them these soft skills, because system integrators, they are fantastic. They know our products sometimes more than we do, but they don't know how to sell them. So they are, again, back into this maybe teacher mode, Wikipedia mode. Yes, we know everything about the product. First of all, and that's also something, they always feel they have to show the credibility about the product. Where if you work for the vendor, of course you don't need to show that you know the product. This is your customer takes it for granted.
So the integrators, is that like a post-sales thing or a value-added retailer?
It's a post-sales thing. So I don't know how that works with you. We've got Salesforce. They've got their own system integrators, professional services, but they need to scale also, and they scale through system integrators. They are the Accenture, Deloitte, etc.
It's funny because I sometimes find that deals are lost after because someone doesn't have the soft skill. Previous company, a resident engineer, a large customer for a specific product. And that resident engineer went off, he was working there, and somehow he mentioned, oh yeah, I've never worked on this product until I got here. Like he got them trained. Now go and do it. If you have questions, come back to us. And he said that, and we almost lost that. It wasn't my territory. It was somebody else, but the story that goes through. No, just it wants to shut up. Kind of important for post people as well as much as pre-sales.
Yeah, I do think that most of us, and I will talk for me, I won't talk for anyone else, but as a tech person, you know what? I like being in front of my laptop and doing my stuff instead of using my soft skills to interact with others, because that's my, natural behavior. I'm more an introvert. But then when you're in sales, and you are in sales, SEs, we are salespeople. You need to understand that, yeah, I need to start engaging with others, but in the right way.
Every person in the company is sales.
Oh, yeah.
I studied engineering, so I don't have to talk to people. And now we're here.
The one T-shirt I love, which is, it says, you've just read my T-shirt. We have had enough social interaction for today.
That's also true. That's why I wear it. Okay. One of the struggles I find enablement has is that, again, a lot of them focus on the technical. If you're an SE, you get the technical stuff. If you're sales, you get the sales stuff. And also, I have different strengths than you and different weaknesses. You're very technical. I might not be as technical. I might have soft skills. Somebody else may not have soft skills. How do you scale an enablement program that helps all these different people in different ways?
So it's all about your internal go-to-market strategy. You do segment. So you have to segment. So, we've got our teams which are segmented according to the market they're addressing. So we've got SMB, CBU, or commercial enterprise. And they don't sell the same way. They don't need the same things. And also Salesforce has, localization. So we've got an AMER team, an EMEA team, and an APAC team. So what we're trying to do is, at the moment, the way Salesforce is structured, it's they've got one global enablement team, which is fantastic. So you've got, unity across the globe. But also then here comes the second step, which is acknowledge that you've got local variations, and also that you've got variations in terms of needs, depending on the bandwidth or the size of the company we are selling to. An enterprise salesperson, usually the sales cycle, it's small and it's a complex sales. When you take an SMB sales, they are more likely doing repetitive sales, and it's more transactional. So they don't need the same things. If you think about sales methodology, and if you also think about the key skills, they all need the same kind of soft skills. But I think you don't want to train an SMB salesperson or pre-salesperson on design thinking, because that's for maybe a longer sales cycle where you want to engage multiple times across multiple months or weeks with your customer. SMB, basically, I'm just oversimplifying with it. Hello, I'm selling that. Do you need CRM? Yes, no. Okay, thank you. Good day. It's not that simple, because that was simple, but it's really transactional, and they are much better than I am, because, for instance, they need to know how to cold call. So basically, SMB, you will be training them on cold calling, because usually they don't have BDRs. They don't have, inbound or outbound. So they need to do that themselves. When you will not train an enterprise salesperson on cold calling, because they've got BDRs. So you will be training the BDRs on that. And maybe long answer to your short question. The other thing is, you ideally, and we did that, when you do a training, and usually, so we've got multiple forms of trainings, but when we were doing live trainings, you want to train the full sales team. So it's not just salespeople, it's sales and the pre-sales. And if they've got time, because they are billable, the customer success people and or the professional services people. If you manage to train the whole team, now on the process and on the soft skills, they've got the same vocabulary, they've got the same understanding, and they can practice together during the training. So that's one of the secret ingredients. You cannot always do it because everyone is always busy. So maybe the second secret ingredient is to work with sales management and pre-sales management to get their buy-in, so that you're sure that people will get into the room.
From what I've seen, I'd love to hear well, this is the point. I want to know how you see enablement. Every once in a while, they get us all together in a room and give us the same training. Let's say like all of Canada covering a specific industry, get the same training. Everybody's off the field, and now we're back on. If you look at companies like Salesforce, has its own technical certifications, right? You can the Trailblazer classes. If you look at Cisco, they have CCNA, CCIP, and they have different security versus data center. But from an enablement perspective, I don't see courses. We can take a week-long course for CCNA and then go do an exam, or CCNA security or CCNA whatever. For enablement, there aren't courses. All right, now we're going to have some time set aside for everybody in the company, or we're going to do 1 week at a time for team A to go and do this, versus people, whenever they want, register for a class as a team, or for as a sales team, not because you have the sales team with all salespeople reporting to a director, or a sales team with salesperson, SE, CSM together. Have you seen that where people can just register for a course at Salesforce or any other company and take a course together?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So we've been trying, we've done A/B testing. So we had open courses where people could voluntarily register. And then we also had cohorts that were mandated by sales leaders. In a nutshell, the most successful ones were the one mandated by the sales leader. Because the thing is that in people's mind, just think about yourself, Ramsey, and I'm the same. If you think about spending 2 hours or 4 hours or 8 hours in a classroom versus meeting with a customer, what will you do?
Yeah. Wouldn't it be part of the KPI that I had when I worked at Alcatel-Lucent? Part of my KPI is to do 3 or 4 courses a year or certifications.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
absolutely.
that be similar? That's one solution to that. You have to do a course or two with hands-on training, with role play. I'm in networking. We used to have labs. Our labs is role play.
Yeah.
Trying to mess each other up and having fun with it. wouldn't that solve that problem potentially?
It could. It's a company-wide issue. When you talk with sales leaders and with huge companies like Salesforce, they tell us, okay, this is what I have to do in my day, or my team, this is what my team needs to do over this week. Out of a full week of selling, they're spending 2 days synchronizing with their teams, 1 day, blah, blah, blah. And you realize that they need time to sell. They need time to be in front of their customers instead of doing admin or even being trained, even if, I do believe that you want to sharpen your sword. And that's super important. But it's really finding the right balance between, can I spend a full day every 2 months being trained? What will be my ROI? And sometimes people just don't believe in training and they say, no, I don't really know that. I know how to negotiate, or, discoveries. I've done hundreds. It's okay. I don't need your discovery training. I don't care. And then they will not join. And maybe they will be missing fantastic opportunities to learn from others, because that's also something which is super important. When you are training with your team, it's not just about you learning. It's about you sharing, or you watching others either be fantastic or fail, but both are super interesting because, I don't know for you, but I always learn from my mistakes. But if it can be during a training, it's much better than in front of a customer.
I'd rather make it in front of my teammates. Actually, that's how I learn, by making mistakes in front of my teammates and then them making fun of me for making those mistakes. Shaming work though on occasion. I'm just curious. Like, you went from individual contributor in the go-to market, and you became a director, a people manager in the enablement team. Like, it's not the same. Like, managing enablement personnel is different from managing SEs. How did you learn what enablement personnel do so you can manage them properly?
So, I've been quoting this design thinking. It's really fitting me because it's really about putting yourselves into the shoes of, change the name. So it's your customer. It can be your people. It can be even your manager. Super important also to put yourself into the shoes of your manager to manage them. It's super interesting to see the profiles that are being hired to train others. You were mentioning, your story about, oh yeah, we're looking for someone to train others, but it's not well paid. I don't think we've got that issue at Salesforce. They've got money. Still, I've seen that the best trainers I had in my teams were former salespeople. They've done it. Because you've got people who are professional trainers, fantastic. They could train you on, cooking or on sports or whatever. I believe that if you've gone through it, if I had to make a choice, I would rather choose someone who was on the field, so a salesperson, a pre-sales person, even, a professional services person. So someone who knows the real world and train them how to train, rather than have a professional trainer and make them. It's not impossible. It's just I think the
Credibility is not there, to be honest.
Yeah, true credit. And so, I had a couple of people in my team having this profile. And what we did is we agreed that they would shadow salespeople, live my life to understand, okay, what are their day-to-day challenges, be more empathetic, because to me, my trainers are not parrots. They don't read slides, and they need to really understand what they're talking about.
Well, otherwise there won't be any credibility. I won't believe what they're saying.
Yeah.
As an individual, like, that's the problem I have sometimes with, like, someone who's telling me, all right, when someone says this, you say that. And, like, that does not work.
and specifically with SEs are very, very critical, or they don't trust people easily, especially when we start talking about technique. And if I'm just introducing myself, like, hey, I'm Guillaume, I've been in sales enablement for 20 years, and today, Ramsey, I'm going to teach you how to implement Cisco. I don't think you will trust me unless I show you something.
It's the same with customers, right? If I go to a customer and say, like, hey, I've never worked in this industry, but I'm gonna show you how to fix it, then, like, how are they gonna trust me? I have to show them that I've done if I've never been in the industry but I've helped others achieve something, then sure, that's some form of credibility, social proof, if you will. But I've been in enablement for 20 years and no one's ever been giving me good feedback. That's a different kind of introduction, right? Which I'm sure that doesn't happen. I'm just taking.
No. I agree with you. Yes, it's extremes, but it's just to, if I were to train SEs, if I'm telling them I've been an SE for 20 years, I think I've got more credibility than I've been a professional trainer for 20 years.
Yep, 100%. Okay, so you've done that, and since then you've changed as well. How long do you do enablement?
So it was almost 4 years.
Oh, you've lasted 4 years. That's an accomplishment, generally speaking.
Yeah. And once again, the only constant is change, so I change.
That's perfect.
Yeah, I had a big number of managers.
But also you've changed within the same organization. A lot of people, I've seen them change within external organizations. And if I'm looking to hire, I get worried. But if you change within the same organization, I mean, that's usually viewed positively because they see that you're ambitious but willing to stay within, like, grow within the company. And
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree with you. It's I think it's it's a good thing, not just for me, but if we've got SEs listening, I think it's an absolutely good thing to show that you are. If someone's going to hire you, they know that you're going to stay not just 3 months or 2 years, but they can invest into you because the company will definitely benefit from you because you will be staying, changing roles, but staying within the same company.
People think right now, like, we're allowed to leave, we shouldn't be loyal to the company, which is fine. I believe that company's not loyal to you. They'll let you go as soon as they need to let you go.
I agree.
So I'm not talking about loyalty and staying there forever. But if I'm looking at your resume, and you're switching every year to a year and a half,
absolutely,
I know I'm going to need to enable you for 6 months. So I'm actually going to spend a lot of money on you, and I'm only going to get a year in return back. That may or may not come because you may or may not become a great SE. So I might as well take a risk of somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a great point. Yeah, it's not about being loyal to your company. It's really about loyal to your resume.
Yeah, pretty much. I like that. So you've since changed again.
Yeah.
What are you doing right now?
So right now I am creating this startup. So maybe I can pitch you why I did that. Late 2022 came ChatGPT. Ooh. And then early 2023, I started understanding the power of that. So I really, I thought, okay, we can do something with that. So I started scratching the surface of what we could do with ChatGPT. I also worked on enabling my peers globally, so the enablement team, to make them understand, okay, this is what it is. This is what it is not. This is what you should never do, like share company confidential information with it. And then I did not see a lot of traction internally because, Salesforce is such a big machine that they have just released the new agents, AI agents, which sound really promising. So the R&D was on it, but it seems that some pockets within Salesforce were a bit late, or not late, but yeah, anyways. So I had some frustration of not being able to leverage more AI to do something for our learners. And, having enabled so many people, SEs, A's, and we just discussed about that, I saw that um, the average A or the junior A was sometimes shy or did not really behave well during interviews, whether it was about qualification or it was even negotiation. And so I thought, okay, what could we do to help them using AI? And basically, I came with this idea of a platform where AEs and SEs could practice with virtual agents in any situation and getting instant feedback from the AI. You know, I was joking about messing around or failing in front of your customers or your colleagues. What about you were failing in front of an AI which was giving you feedback and you could try again and again until you are confident?
I mean, that's a safer environment for sure. Um, it doesn't have the shame part of it. So
No, it doesn't care. It's a machine.
I, there should be. I don't know if you can code it into like making fun of per. that- So here's the story. I used to interrupt customers a lot, uh, and that was one of my issues. And then all the SEs came together. We went to North Carolina, got into a meeting room, and we started doing kind of presentations or whatever. And I was interrupting like the mock customer, and now the entire team is just making fun of me. And that kind of got seared into my brain, and I haven't interrupted a customer since, unless I know what I'm doing. Like, the customer's going off on a right-on tangent, that's when I interrupt. That's fine. But I feel like shame does help in one way or another. So now that you're developing this, you've been in sales for a long time, SE enablement, go to market. Now you're a co-founder.
Hmm.
And yes, you're a co-founder in the SE space, like you're trying to sell into sales and sales enablement. But being a co-founder is very different from actually being an enablement person. What are the challenges you've faced so far, if you can't share?
Yeah, sure. Maybe I should quote the name of the platform. It's called Simplify, SYMPLFIF.ai. And I trust you will share the link somewhere. Let's talk about the excitement first before we talk about the burden, because I'm a tech person. And, you know, you may see my pockets under my ears. I went to bed at 3 a.m. this morning because I was so exciting about implementing a new feature. So the excitement is, oh gosh, I love coding. I love developing. I love development. And when you see the output, the final product, you really think, oh yes, I did it. So, you know, for instance, I was just, anyways, I was developing new features being requested by my first customer.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so that's the excitement. The second excitement is when I talk about this platform with salespeople, sales directors, sales enablement people, and I'm lucky enough, not lucky, but I'm lucky enough to have a big network. Everyone is excited about what I'm building. They do see value. It's not just excitement. They are thinking there is something here. You know, we need that. And it's not a training platform, by the way. It's just a reinforcement platform. So it's complementary to any training. It's not meant to replace the training or proper training. We need the proper training. But then once you've done your training, how do you practice? Well, we can use this platform. So excitement is here. Now, yes, entrepreneur means you're the developer, you're the software developer, you're the business developer, you're the marketing person, you're the CTO. Well, my co-founder is the CTO. I'm lucky enough. You know, my next step at the moment is raising funds. So I'm starting my pitch process. I'm pitching. Good news is, you know what? Well, first of all, I've got friends who are entrepreneurs, so I'm pitching with them. Second thing, I've got a platform to help me here. And third thing is, I've been doing soft skills for 10 years. So I'm lucky enough also to have been trained a lot on that kind of thing. But the entrepreneur thing is, I'm a CFO, by the way, also. So it's Entrepreneur, well, you know that because this is something you're doing also. It's you're everyone. You're everyone. So the first challenge is being everyone. My second next step is finding additional funds, hiring people so that it's not a team of two, it's a team of 4, 6, 10, 20, 50, 100. It's
So
super
you have that
exciting.
vision.
It
You
is a
have the
vision.
vision.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
It's
In
not
terms
just
of
me in my
sales,
garage.
so you just closed your first customer, it sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah.
SEs generally don't want to go into sales. Or if they want to go into sales, they would have done it. You've been in the role
Mm.
for a long time. And it doesn't sound like you ever went into sales. You just did everything else that's technical. But now you're sales. Is that accurate?
Yes, and you know what? Thank you for this question. It's a great question. Look, I'm an SE. I've got a USB cable here. No, it's easy to sell when you believe in the product, and I do believe in what I'm building. I think it's that maybe that's the key. That's the key. If you are working for a company and you really believe that this can do what it's meant to do.
This is what I've told people. I love being a salesperson for my own company. I hated being a salesperson for somebody else. Not because I don't believe in the product. It's just the bureaucracy. For example, this year I did very well. Effectively, that means that next year I'm getting a pay cut. Someone else is setting your quota. You're not setting your quota. Like as a business owner, you're setting your own quota.
True.
You know what's going on in the world. You know what's going on in the market, and you have an idea of how much you're going to sell. And you always want to sell more, but you know what's realistic and what's not. Me, like last first quarter of the year, we were getting quarterly quota. My boss came to me, this is your quota. And I looked at him and said, I'm only selling half of that, right? And he says, yes, I know. So my manager knew exactly how much I would sell. And still, he had to give me that quota. And the way commissions paid out, most companies pay out commission in a way that saves them money, which means makes you, the salesperson, less money. And they can manipulate that. So I get I 100% agree with you. It's better, it's nicer to be a salesperson for your own company than for somebody else's company, whether you believe in the product or not. Just like all things being equal. Like if somebody else was creating the product that you're creating and you're a salesperson for that company, you wouldn't enjoy it as much as doing it for yourself, I believe.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. And I've always been a hard worker. I usually when I was at Salesforce, I could stop working 7, 8, maybe 9 or even 10 p.m. Never 3 a.m. And I do get, yes, it's the start, so we need to put that much effort, but I'm doing it with joy. I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. Really, really. Like I trust it's your case too, Ramsey.
I love the outcome.
Yes.
Seeing someone get a promotion because of me helping them career plan
That's great.
is amazing. I've helped a few SEs who were laid off get a job. That's an amazing feeling.
Yes.
So which makes you want to and that's the thing. I can sell my networking gear to a company all day long, and the people who bought from me, their lives have not changed. But, like selling something like that, I mean, you're changing the lives of the future employees that you're going to hire. You're
True.
making SEs better. So that, yeah, I love that. I mean, I know we can talk a lot more about entrepreneurship. I mean, how long have you been doing this? How long would you consider yourself an entrepreneur?
Oh gosh, not that recently. I really started the first version of the product, let's say, March this year. This really like version 0 was ready in March, but really considering making it a business I can make money out of it, it's about 3 months, maybe 4. So it's still early.
So maybe we'll catch up in like another 3 months or 6 months.
yeah, I
And
would love to. Yeah.
the entrepreneurship journey was like.
Oh, yes.
All right, well, Guillaume, we're at the end of our call, pretty much.
Fantastic. Yeah. We're on time.
Any questions let me fix that then. Any questions you were hoping I was going to ask you, which I did not, or any final thoughts you want to leave?
No, you did ask me this one question that was very helpful. So this is where I see you're a coach, which is, why did I move to the sales role, or how did, what happened? And I clicked. I said, oh yeah, that's why it's so easy. It's easy because it's, yeah, like you said, it's my solution. So it's my company, it's my business, and I trust in what I'm selling.
I like that. So everyone check out Guillaume's website, simplify.ai. Right. And thank you so much for your time, Guillaume.
Thank you very much, Ramsey. Nice talking to you.
And that's the end of the show. I ask this every single podcast. I hope you provide an answer. What do you think? Leave it in the comments. I hope you really enjoyed it. I hope you took something from this call. As I mentioned in the intro, becoming the CEO of your own company, it's different than being a salesperson at a different company. It comes with its own set of challenges, its own stress. So it's not easy by any means. It's not for everybody. But on the flip side, if you don't try it, or if it's something that's in your brain that you want to do and you never try it, you're always going to wonder about it. So might as well just give it a go. I don't know, easier said than done. But that's it. That's the end of the show. Thank you guys for being here. With that, I'm signing off.